Do you know which two important people from the Old Testament died but were never found physically? Moses and Elijah were both taken up by God into heaven instead of physically dying on earth. Do you know why? This is because they still have an earthly function in the future. In this episode, we are going to explain why Moses and Elijah are the two witnesses in the book of Revelation. Deuteronomy 34, 5-6. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, but no one knows his grave to this day. In Deuteronomy, we read about the death of Moses after his 120-year life on earth. To this day, no one has found the body of Moses. In the Old Testament, we find a similar story of a man named Elijah. Do you know how Elijah died? 2 Kings 2:11. Then it happened as they continued on and talked, that suddenly a chariot of fire appeared with horses of fire, and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. Moses and Elijah may have been the greatest two prophets from the Old Covenant. They have both died, but their bodies have never been found. This is unique because we don't read of any other people with missing bodies in the Old Testament. So, this means that Moses and Elijah are probably going to be playing key roles in the future. Even in the New Testament, we read more about Moses and Elijah in a story where Jesus and the other disciples are gathered near a mountain. Jesus transfigured on the mount. Matthew 17, 1-3. Now after 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John his brother, led them up on a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, talking with them. God used the lives of these two prophets in the time that Jesus walked on earth, many years after the death of Moses and Elijah. After the rapture of the church, there will immediately be no more believers on earth. However, God immediately will use two witnesses to proclaim the gospel. These two witnesses will be placed in Jerusalem and will not be killed for 3.5 years. Revelation 11, 3-6. And I will give power to my two witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two lampstands standing before the God of the earth. And if anyone wants to harm them, fire proceeds from their mouth and devours their enemies. And if anyone wants to harm them, he must be killed in this manner. These have power to shut heaven, so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy. And they have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to strike the earth with all plagues, as often as they desire. In Revelation, it appears that these two are not mentioned by name. However, they can perform specific miracles. After reading these verses from the Bible, did a light bulb go on in your mind? Do you see the connections? Moses turned water into blood in Egypt while the Egyptians were suffering severe plagues. Elijah was given power in the Bible to make it rain on earth while the people were suffering from the consequences of a great drought. Moses was in the book of Exodus at the beginning of the Bible and was also present in the end of the Bible. In doing this, God demonstrates His greatness and His plan for creation. In Revelation, God says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last." The Bible is not a book of coincidences and unexpected stories over the ages. God made His plan before the foundation of the world was laid, and He is still carrying out His plan to this day. Moses and Elijah were not set apart by God by accident. They were set apart by God for a purpose to serve another function in the future. We see that God has already made His plans for us until the end of time, forever. What an amazing and great God we have. In our lives, we are usually just thinking about our present days or maybe as far as a holiday coming up in a few weeks. Can you imagine how great our God is? He made his plan with Moses and Elijah for each person who ever walks on the earth. Do you want to learn more from the Bible and gain insight into the future? Follow our channel and share your life with Christ.